everyone, Monique here with Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are making an extra small 2-color dog sweater with a edging. Kind of a chain edging, that's what we'll call it. You're going to need a main color and then some kind of scrap, ball of scrap, different color yarn. I haven't quite decided what I'm going to use yet, but when I do, you'll be the first to know. And we're going to start that in just a moment. Hi everyone, Monique here, Little Gems Creations 1. Today we are making an extra small dog sweater. You're going to need a 5mm crochet hook. You're going to need a pair of scissors, 2 shades of yarn, a darning needle, and that's about it. So we're going to start with our main color, and we are going to do a chain of 40. Leave a bit of a tail so you have something to sew in later. We're going to start by crossing our yarn like so, and then we're going to chain 40. So do that and meet me back. Okay, I got my chain of 40 here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into that very first chain we made. And then we're going to chain up 2. Now, normally I would just go in the sides of the stitches here, but today's tutorial we're going to go into that back bump. So we're going to do a half double crochet, yarn over into the back bump, pull your yarn through all 3 loops. Now I'm going to show you how to do that again. So we're not going in the side of the stitch, we're going in that back bump. So yarn over into the back bump, pull through all 3 loops. Do that until you have 40 stitches and meet me back. Okay, I just finished. I have 40 stitches all the way around, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into, oops, let me just pull that tighter. I'm going to slip stitch into that second chain at the beginning. Okay. There we go. And we're going to chain up 2. So we are going to do 4 rows of this half double crochet, and we're going to go around. Now, every time we go around, we're going to change it up a bit. So we just went into the second chain from hook. Next time, you're going to go into the first stitch. And the next time after that, you're going to go into the chain 2. And we're going to do that so that our stitches stay straight and they don't go sideways. For some reason my stitches always go sideways, so this is how I prevent that. So there we go. Now I'm going to get you just to look at the bottom. The reason we did this is because we're going to put an edging and we're going to want the nice crochet stitches like this. Isn't that neat? Just by going into that back bump instead of the side stitch, you have a nice working area down there. Okay, so do 4 rows and then meet me back and we'll start doing our color changes. And you're going chain, stitch where you do your slip stitch. Do that and meet me back. Okay everyone, so I'm back. I've done my 4 rows. And now I'm going to attach my next color of yarn. I've decided to go with a yellow. And by the way, these yarns are 4-ply worsted weight yarn. And you want to have yarns that are matching, even if they're scraps. So I'm going to go, let me see. This is my chain stitch. So this is my stitch row. So I'm going to go into that stitch. I'm going to slip stitch with my new color. Now I am going to chain up 2, and I am not going to cut this this tan colored yarn. I'm gonna leave it attached because we're just gonna continue with it. Now we're gonna do 1 row of half double crochets with the yellow or whatever your next color is, and then we're gonna meet back. And you wanna make sure you're always getting 40 stitches and that you're staying with your pattern of slip stitching into the stitch and slip stitching into the chain, okay? So 1 row of yellow, meet me back. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and this time I'm going into my chain to do my slip stitch. You're still doing your slip stitch with your yellow. We're gonna chain up 2. Okay, now going into that next stitch, we're gonna do a half double crochet up to all the loops. Then we're gonna very gently take our brown along, or our tan along the back, and we're gonna finish off that stitch with the tan. Then we're gonna start another half double crochet, and we're gonna bring up our yellow, and we're gonna finish that stitch off with the yellow. And we're gonna keep doing this. It's not easy, it's annoying, but it's such a cute design that you just gotta do it. So see, here's what we're doing. So we do a partial stitch, bring our brown to finish off the stitch. Do a partial stitch in brown, bring your yellow, and we're not pulling very hard on the yellows or browns so that it's sitting nicely in the back. See how nicely that's sitting? Okay, so do this all the way around for this row, okay, and then meet me back. Okay, so I'm back to the beginning, and let me just figure out where I am. Chain stitch, chain stitch, chain stitch. So I'm going into that first stitch, and always make sure you have 40 stitches total. I'm chaining up 2, and now I'm going to do another row with the yellow. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This will be 7, and then we'll do 4 more rows of the brown afterwards, and then meet me back. So we're doing a row of yellow, and we're not disconnecting that brown. We're going to do 4 rows of brown. When you come to the brown, you leave a tail on your yellow, but then you can cut it. Okay, so a row of yellow, just like we did down here, and then 4 more rows of brown or tan or whatever color you're using. Okay, and if you haven't had a chance yet, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and share my video with all your friends that have little dogs this size and that are crocheters, obviously, and even those friends that do craft sales, because dog sweaters have always been a popular thing for me at craft sales. Okay, so do what I said. Make sure you're sticking with the one in the chain, slip stitch in the chain and slip stitch in the stitch for all the rows as you go too. Okay, meet me back. Okay, so I'm back and I've done my 4 rows. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 20 half double crochets, and we're gonna work back and forth on those 20 half double crochets for 6 rows, okay? So make sure you have 20, and we're gonna just work back and forth on them to create the back of the sweater. So 20 stitches, half double crochets, back and forth for 6 rows. Do that and meet me back. Okay, so I did my 6 rows back and forth on those 20 stitches. I'm gonna cut. Now very gently, I am going to pull my tail through my loop, and I'm not pulling it tight, I'm just pulling it too. See how loose that is? That's just so it doesn't unravel, but we do need to deal with that later, so leave it be. Now we're gonna go back over here. So if it's facing me, this is my left side, my right side. I'm going to the right side. I'm gonna not go into this stitch that already has a stitch in it. I'm going into this one. I'm gonna catch my main color, Now, if you wanted to make it a bit different, you could use your other color and do the chest, because we're doing the leg chest piece here. You could do it your different color, whatever you prefer. Make it your own. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 20 half double crochets across, and that's gonna give us our base row for the start of our leg holes. Now, I guess I call these dog sweaters. Some people call them dog vests because they don't have legs. My dog will not wear sweaters that have legs. She just has basically said, no, mama, no. And I said, but baby, and she's like, no, mama, no. So we've stopped fighting about it, and I now make sweaters with no legs. And I'm sure there's other people out there who have dogs that don't want the legs on the sweaters. If you want the legs, all you have to do is catch some stitches and go round and round and round and make some legs. But maybe one day I'll make a video that has legs, but until then, most of mine are, I guess, vests. Sweaters without legs. Okay, so I was talking and I wasn't counting, so let's go back. So that's my chain, and then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Whoa! And that's what I call a fluke. Okay, so we're gonna chain up 2. Now we're gonna start decreasing, and I'm gonna show you how I decrease. So, yarn over into the stitch, grab your yarn, pull through. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull through. We have 5 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, I want you to go through all 5 loops. So to explain what we just did there is we took 1, 2 stitches and turned it into 1. Now we're gonna do that at both ends, so this row is gonna have 18 stitches total. So I count that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and we're doing that 17th stitch. Now, we know that our next 2 stitches are going to be turned into 1, which will give us our 18th stitch. So here we go for the decrease again. Yarn over into the stitch, pull your yarn through. Yarn over into the next stitch, pull your yarn through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops. Yarn over, go through all 5 loops, and that was your 18th stitch. Chain up 2, turn your work, and you're going to do this back and forth until you're down to 10 stitches. So do that again, down to 10 stitches, and meet me back. Okay, so I'm down to 10 stitches. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other side, so over here where I did my 2 stitches, 1, 2, 2 chain. I'm going to go in the second chain there. It's a bit of a struggle. You can do it. I have total faith in you. I'm going to slip stitch into that and chain up 2. Then I'm going to make a big loop and leave it hanging. I'm going to go back. Now you know where we did this little knot that's really loose? We're going to pick it out. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing we did at the other side. We're going to go to our chain 2, and we're going to go into that second chain. we're going to use our tail to go and do a slip stitch, and then we're going to purl our tail through our loop, and this time we're pulling tight. Okay, so there we go. We just made our little leg hole. Okay, we have our leg hole on the other side, and see how it's tapered? There we go. So now we are going to do the neck. So we're going to have 30 stitches in this neck. We're going to have 10 from the front that we did, and we're going to have 20 from the back that we did. So we're going to do one row of the tan. We're going to do one row of the yellow, and then a final row of the tan. So I'm going to come back and show you how I change color, but if you're confident with changing color, just do that and then meet me back and we'll do the trim. So I'll come back to do the color change, and then after that we'll do the finishing touches. So yeah, meet me back. Okay, I've done my 30 stitches, so now I'm going to do my slip stitch around or in the second chain from hook. Now I'm switching to yellow, my yellow, because that's my second color. So I'm actually doing the slip stitch with the yellow. Do not cut your brown. We're just gonna bring it up the back. We're gonna chain up 2 with the yellow, and now we're gonna do one row of 30 stitches with yellow, and then just like we switched colors here, we're gonna do the same thing with brown to finish off. So do that, meet me back when you've finished off with your last row of brown. Okay, so I've done all the way around with the yellow and the brown. I'm gonna slip stitch with the brown. I'm gonna make a big loop, cut for that. I am going to pull my tail through my loop and pull tight. In here, I still have my yellow. I'm gonna leave a long tail. Okay, and if you want to, you can tie the 2 yellows up. Don't tie too tight because you don't want to distort the stitches. And then you'll also still weave in those yarns just to give it extra stability. So this is what we're looking at so far, and I think that's a very cute little dog sweater. If you have a little boy dog, you could stop here and just have it as a sweater. If you wanted to make it longer, you could go in the middle here on the tummy side. I would leave about 6 stitches and then start stitching, and you can make it so it's a little bit longer to go over their bum, but they're not peeing, because you'll have that slit, and you would also decrease on each side for each row. That's another video I haven't made yet, but this is what we're doing for this video. So this is the basic sweater. We're gonna go back down to the bottom, and you know how we made it so it has this nice working edge here? We are going to take our thread, and we're gonna make sure that our work is facing us. Okay, so the good side is facing us. Okay, we're going to slip our yarn through, leave a tail so you have something to weave in. Now we are going to chain, let's go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we're gonna skip the next stitch, and we'll go into the stitch after that, and we're just gonna slip stitch. Okay, and then we're gonna chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and we'll go into the one after that, and we're just gonna slip stitch, and we're gonna do this all the way around until we get to the other side. Okay, so do that. So you're chaining 8, skipping a stitch, slip stitching into the next stitch, chain 8. Do that all the way around, meet me back. Okay, so I've gone all the way around, and now I'm gonna go into the final place. I'm gonna do my slip stitch. I'm gonna pull my loop long, snip my brown, and I am going to put my tail through my loop without catching the loop that I just made. I'm gonna pull tight, okay? Now we're gonna take our alternate color and we're gonna start. Now, you have to decide if you're gonna go ahead of your loops or if you're gonna go behind your loops. So I want yellow to be the color on top, so I'm gonna go ahead of my loops. If you want the alternate color to not be the focus color, then you would go behind your loops. I hope that makes sense. So pull your yellow through and chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is in the stitch that we skipped. Now in all the stitches we skipped, we are now doing the yellow. Okay, so chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're going into the front. And we're slip stitching. Okay, so see what's happening here? So we've got this kind of nice little loopy system happening here. So do that all the way around and meet me back. Okay, so I'm on my last one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna slip stitch back into the one, oops, that I started with. Okay, so I am going to cut a long tail, pull my tail through my loop and pull tight. And there you go. There's our cute little dog sweater with loopy trim. Now, you know, I was sitting here making it, and you could probably alternate going in front. You could go in front and go behind in the next one, and then go from the front to the behind, and that would make it look cool too. You can do all kinds of things. Let your imagination take over. Now, I still have a fair amount of this scrap yellow, so I am thinking I'm gonna go and make some matching booties. I do have a booty video for small booties, which would be about the right size for this size dog. And I think I'm gonna make matching booties for this one. So hide your threads, and if you so desire, go look up that booty video and hit the like and subscribe, and thanks so much for watching. I'd love to see pictures of your little precious in this dog sweater. You can find me on Facebook, Little Gems Creations 1. I can put a link in the comments or in the description as well. So, have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Oh, and the other thing is, if you want to see more of my videos, hit the little bell, which should give you notifications, but it doesn't always work. So I try and have a new video every Thursday. So check back on Thursday and see what else I've got lined up for you guys. Talk to you later. Bye now.